Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a battle of the eyeshadow bases. Pew pew pew. So in today's video, I am just going to compare these eyeshadow bases because one is pricier than the other, and we're just going to see like what is really worth the money at the end of the day. So the Plouise eyeshadow base for 15 mils of product retails for 330 rand, if I'm not mistaken. I bought initially the smaller size, which is in my professional makeup kit, which is 15 mils, and then I got this Rumor 2 shade in a 30 mil tube. Yes, this is 30 mils. So I believe I paid about 420 rand, but with price increases and stuff like that, it could be like over 500 rand at this point. Please check the Shop Betty website just in case. This eyeshadow primer, however, retails for 175 rand 95. So you can call it like 176 rand. And I mean, I really love the Plouise eyeshadow base. So we're going to see how this one performs today. And then we're kind of just going to see how colorful eyeshadows perform on both of these bases, kind of compare them, and just really give you guys my thoughts on which one I really love. So let's get into it. So I really want to give this eyeshadow base a fair chance, and I'm going to use a really nice eyeshadow palette. You can use the Revolution palettes with this eyeshadow base because it is Revolution, but we're gonna give it a fair shot. We're gonna see how these shades perform on this eyeshadow base. So let's get into it. I'm gonna be taking my Plouise eyeshadow base in the shade Rumor 2, just putting a wee bit on my lid. A little goes a long way with this, and then I'm gonna speak you guys through, or rather talk you guys through the cut crease base. Okay, so I'm going to take a clean brush and we're going to go in with the Revolution, this is a long name, Cut Crease Canvas Full Coverage Eyeshadow Base. Okay, so apparently this brush is really nice for cutting the crease, so we're going to create a cut crease look today and see how that goes. I'm not really sure how much I'm supposed to be using, but let's start off with a little bit first and then work our way. I mean, right off the bat, I'm gonna say that it's a quite thin consistency in comparison to the Plouise eyeshadow base. The Plouise eyeshadow base needs sort of like a patting motion instead of like the swirling that I'm doing with this eyeshadow base. So there's definitely a difference in consistency, but I think the color shade, or the color matte rather, is pretty decent. I mean, you can see it's pretty much a skin tone kind of color. The Create shade is a bit more brighter, which is not a bad thing. I picked this shade because it's supposed to be the universal shade and it makes my eyeshadows pop really well, so that's a great plus. Alright, so next we're gonna go in. I want to do this purple look that I haven't really done a tutorial on, so let's get into it. I'm gonna start with the shade Blackberry, which is this one right here, and I think I kind of want to start on the Plouise side first, just so I can see how the side behaves. I can already tell that there's a little bit of shine on this side, so I think this takes a little bit longer to dry down, whereas this side already looks a little bit more mattified. So I'm just gonna take this Blackberry shade, pack it on the outer corner of my eye, and then I'm gonna start taking that into my crease. Okay, I can see this eyeshadow base creasing just a teeny tiny bit. But I mean, it's nothing nothing too crazy, so I would say definitely don't let it sit on your lid for like a super long time. Okay, so far so good. Both eyes are looking pretty much the same. Next, we are gonna go in with the shade Fruity, which is this cerise color. And I'm just going to blend this on the outer perimeters of this purple. Ooh, it's very pigmented. Now I also do want to mention that the cut crease base comes with 4.5 ml of product. So essentially at the end of the day it depends on your budget and what you're able to afford. But we're just going to test out the actual eyeshadow bases today and see how it goes, and then you guys can make a decision. And obviously I'll tell you guys my thoughts and what I would personally do. And then I'm going to take a wee bit off Tahiti, which is this shade right here. It's like a lilac-y purple. Actually a very, very stunning shade. And I'm just going to take that right above that sort of magenta shade. So we have a really, really nice blend going on. I feel like both of the eyes look pretty much the same, pretty much identical, although my eye shapes are two different shapes, so I feel like my eyeshadow always looks different from eye to eye. Your face is not symmetrical, fun fact. Okay, so now it is time to cut the crease, and I'm gonna take some of my Plouise eyeshadow base. I always use the same base that I used to prime my lids to cut my crease. It only makes sense. And I'm going to coat a small tiny brush front and back, and then we're going to cut the crease. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I have quite a few cut crease tutorials if you guys would like to go and watch. But basically you want to cut your crease in such a way that when you open your eye, your crease almost disappears right where your crease disappears into your eye, like into your socket line. And this way, when you open your eye, your shimmer shades don't transfer into your crease, if that makes any sense at all. Because sometimes that is what can tend to happen, like your shimmer shades, if you don't cut your crease high enough, your shimmer shades transfer onto your lid, and then it's not the best thing, you know. Okay, so I like to go in with my shimmer shades while my eyeshadow base is fairly tacky. So I'm gonna go in with two shimmer shades. I'm gonna go in with this one right here, which is called Starlight, and this one right here, which is called Blue Moon. So Blue Moon is going on the center, Starlight is going on the inner corner. So Starlight is like pinky iridescent based, and Blue Moon is more blue iridescent based, but Starlight has some blue and pink reflex in it. And then Blue Moon has some, I want to say dark pink reflex in it. So you can definitely see a demarcation between the two shades. So yeah, these two shades are kind of like opposites of each other. One's like pink iridescence with blue shimmer, and one is like blue iridescence with like dark pink vibe shimmer, which is insane. I hope you guys can see this on camera as beautiful as it is in person, because holy smokes, it's amazing. Okay, so next we're gonna go in with the cut crease eyeshadow base, and this actually comes with its own applicator. So we're going to try the applicator. There's tons of product on here already. So I'm just going to try and scoop off some product. And then we're going to try and use this brush to cut the crease. Okay, let's do this. Okay, firstly, make sure there's enough product on your brush. Don't be like me. I took off majority of the product off the brush, as you guys can see. It's quite like a decent eyeshadow base. It's quite decent, not gonna lie. I'm just gonna go in with my finger and just blend the outer corner so there's not too much product on. Just use my finger to pick up the excess product. Okay, impressed so far because I mean it is packing a punch and the applicator is quite decent. I'm gonna say I think I struggled with it a bit just because of the fact that the applicator is quite thick. It's not as thin as some of the brushes that I use to cut my crease, which is fine, I guess, at the end of the day. Gonna go in with Starlight. And then going in with Blue Moon. Okay, so I'm not going to put on any mascara or any lashes. We're just going to see what this eye looks like. Okay, so let's compare these two eyeshadow bases. You guys can see this is the cut crease base. Now, the reason why these two eyes are looking different is because I feel like the eyeshadow base itself is peeking through the eyeshadow on this side. Whereas on this side, it's pretty much true to color. Also, if you guys can see this blue, the Blue Moon is slightly a bit more vibrant than this side. I think it's smoother on this side, but it's more foiled on this side. So the Plouise eyeshadow base is giving me a foiled texture, and even though the cut crease is giving me a smooth texture, it's not as vibrant as the Plouise eyeshadow base, if that makes any sense. But overall, I would say they both perform really well. I mean, the color is popping on it really well as well. The texture, I think the reason why they're showing up as different textures is because of the actual texture of the base. So the cut crease canvas base is a liquid and the Plouise eyeshadow base is more of a cream. So obviously creams and liquids behave differently and catch on to pigment a little bit differently. So the cream is giving us a foiled effect and the liquid is giving us a smoother effect. So I mean, either way, I'm not complaining. I don't think it's completely bad. And then some of the pigment of the eyeshadow base is kind of peeking through on this side, but the Plouise it's literally gripped onto every single pigment of eyeshadow, so it's not really showing the original base color, which, I mean, there's pros and cons to these eyeshadow bases. But regardless, I think that the cut crease base is actually quite a reasonably priced product. Although, if you spend 330 Rand on the 15ml, you're getting 15 mils of product. So this is the 30ml. Let's just say I have the 15ml for comparison purposes. And this is 4.5 mils of product. So for me personally, I think it's a really good product. Although I feel like I'm being ripped off for paying 176 Rand for 4.5 mils of product. I mean, this packaging looks huge, but I mean, the weight is just like, So in my personal opinion, if I was somebody who doesn't wear eyeshadow all the time and you're looking to invest in a good affordable base, I would highly recommend the Revolution Cut Crease Canvas eyeshadow base. I think it's quite decent. However, if you are a makeup enthusiast like I am and you love wearing colorful eyeshadow bases every single day and you're just all about that fancy schmancy life and that quality life, I would also recommend the Plouise eyeshadow base. So I'm kind of like on the fence between these two. I think that the cut crease canvas is really, really nice. But I think, you see, I kind of like the vibrancy of this eye. Even though this eye, like the cut crease is crisp and clean, I mean, it really depends on what your vibe is. Like, if you are this vibe or if you are this vibe. I'm more of this vibe because that's the vibe I was going for. But there ain't nothing wrong with this vibe either. You know, they both do a really good job at sticking down the pigment. Now, would I say they're dupes for each other? I think they both have their pros. But I would say if you cannot afford the Plouise, definitely invest in the cut crease canvas. I mean, 176 rand is not as steep as 330 for a 15 ml. This is a 30 ml that costs double the price. I would say I think it's worth it. I think it is perfect for the beginners out there. If you guys are struggling with the cut crease, I really like the fact that this actually comes with a applicator. Obviously, there's tons of product on here right now, but it does a really good job. It's also really, really full coverage, and it is super full coverage. So yeah, I think competitively in the affordable drugstore range, this is probably the best cut crease base you guys are ever gonna find in the drugstore. And I would highly recommend, if you're looking for something more affordable, you guys should get the cut crease canvas base. Like I said, there is textural differences between these two, but you could definitely go for this one instead of this one if you don't have the coin, or if you don't wear makeup as frequently and you know you're just wasting your money on the Plouise. Get the cut crease canvas. I think it should last a fairly decent amount of time, especially because it's so liquid as well. And yeah, that's my thoughts on these two. I'm kind of impressed by the Revolution one, to be honest. I wasn't sure how it was gonna perform, but I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised for an eyeshadow base that is affordable from the drugstore. So that is it for this video, you guys. I really hope you have enjoyed. Comment down below and let me know, have you tried one of these bases? Have you tried both? Which is your favorite? Or what is your favorite eyeshadow base in general? Maybe there's other people out there looking for an eyeshadow primer and they don't want either of these. Maybe you guys can drop down some suggestions in the comment section. Today's Sanesh squad shout out goes to Dear Jamie. She says, man, I love this video so much. Watched it twice. Such a valuable talk. All the emotions in your voice hit home. Really loved it. It reminds me of how awesome I am. Thank you for this. I'd like a full self-love series. So this is one of my self-love videos that she commented on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your love on this video. And yeah, the fact that you actually took time out of your day to watch it twice is amazing, and I can't wait to see your baby boy. If you guys don't follow Dear Jamie here on YouTube and on Instagram, what are you doing with your life? Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. So that is it for this video, you guys. I love you so much. Don't forget to slay all day, every day, with and without makeup, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.